right, everybody, you know what time it is. The Real Talk Sports Show. Saturday Sports Update is coming up right now. Here on the live broadcast. Um, like I say again, we're very appreciative to those of you guys who tune in each and every week, and it's great that you guys come in here and join us. That you guys tune in and join us here because, again, we're not ESPN, we're not Fox Sports, we're just a guy here in Clayton County trying to bring you some sports and give you the updates in terms of what's going on. And as you guys know, there's always something going on in the world of sports. So let's get right to it. All right, first of all, the ladies, the WNBA ladies are playing their All-Star game. And we got some breaking news from the All-Star game. And you might say, pray tell what that is. All right, well, the breaking news is that the Atlanta Dream's own, that's right, our own hometown gal, Alicia Gray, did something that was historical. That's right, she made history. And you said, well, bro, how'd she do that? She became the first WNBA player ever, that's right, ever, to win not one, but two challenges in the WNBA All-Star game. Because each WNBA All-Star game weekend, what they do is, like they do in the NBA, they have a skills contest, they have a three-point shootout, and Alicia Gray made history because she became the first WNBA player to win both the skills challenge and the three-point shootout. Yeah, she electrified the crowd that was there with her dazzling performance from three. And actually what it took is that the young lady she was competing against missed her final shot. So Alicia was able to win again, like I said, again, the first time ever in history that a woman has won, matter of fact, anybody has won the skills challenge and the three-point shootout. Now, here's our hope, guys. We was talking a little WNBA because that has been kind of the hot topic in the world of sports. And the interesting thing is that here in Atlanta, the Dream start off their season red hot. They won 4 of their first 6 games, and they look like a team that might be able to contend for postseason. Unfortunately, the injuries began to strike. Alicia Gray was out for a while. Matter of fact, Ryan Howard, who played in the All-Star game last year for the Dream, she's been out all season. And they've had other players in their top 10 rotation that have been out. So what has happened is after starting out 4-2, they end up losing 5 straight games. I think they've lost 7 of their last 9 games going into the All-Star break. So now they have fallen out of playoff contention. But the hope is that Ryan Howard coming back, Alicia Gray being inspired off of her All-Star performance, and of course the OGTC, Tina Charles, continuing to hopefully light it up here. She's the 3rd leading scorer in WNBA history. So the hope is that perhaps in the second half of the season that the Dream might be able to right the ship and be able to get to the playoffs. which would be really, really good because we begin to, because like I said again, since the WNBA is so hot, it would be great to see the Dream extend their season. I can tell you from covering the Dream in the past, when they did go to the playoffs, like in any sport, is different. Did I say playoffs? Playoffs? That's right. Yeah, playoffs. It's it is it is really cool to have that in your city. There's an energy that it brings. There's an excitement when your team is in postseason. So again, the hope is the Dream will be able to do it. Now I will say this much: if it comes down to the Dream and the two teams that are ahead of them, I think the WNBA would prefer that the Dream stay home and not the Chicago Sky, which has the Bayou Barbie um, and Angel Reese, and of course the Indiana Fever, who has the woman that has really helped energize, along with I would say Angel Reese, uh, the WNBA and to some degree women's sports. And I'm talking about Caitlin Clark from the Indiana Fever. Those are the two teams that are directly ahead of the Atlanta Dream as far as them being able to get to a playoff game. But again, I'm going to say the same thing. I hope they get into the playoffs. I hope the Dream gets in the playoffs. I hope the Fever gets in the playoffs with Caitlin Clark and also Chicago Sky with Angel Reese and another hometown favorite, Diamond DeShields, who grew up right here in the Atlanta area, played basketball here. As a matter of fact, several years ago, she was inducted in the Naismith, not the Hall of Fame, but she was selected as a Naismith High School female basketball player of the year. So, like I said, just a lot going on, and the WNBA has been dominant. And I got to tell you something. Don't get me wrong. We certainly enjoy their play on the court, but boys and girls, I got to tell you, the pregame with the women kind of like a fashion show, and I think that's been as big a part of driving viewers to the game because it's an excitement. I mean, it's just I'm just telling you, man, it's an excitement to see and to see the ladies kind of come out and kind of strut their stuff and kind of like in a fashion runway before the game. A lot of people say, "Oh, what's that got to do with the game?" Look, man, here's how this works in marketing. Marketing, I'll put it like selling the steak. Marketing is selling the sizzle, not the steak. And what I mean by that is, let me ask you a question. How many of those of you who like a good steak or even like a good barbecue place, what is the first thing that hits you? With the barbecue place, it's that smoke. Everybody says we want all that smoke. Well, on the real, you want all that smoke when you are looking at your barbecue. That's the thing that draws you. That's the thing that makes you want to. It's like almost like Pavlov's dog. The salivation, you're like your mouth is watering. You're like, man, I got to come and check this out. I mean, I want some of this barbecue that I'm smelling. It's the same thing when you go to any kind of top steakhouse. I mean, what do they know? What brings you to that top steakhouse? It's that smell. It's the smell of that steak, and you're thinking very, very shortly, I'm about to have that mouth-watering steak with me right now. And so at the end of the day, that's really what drives it. And so it's the same thing with the women. The women is creating a level of excitement because, like I said, again, you're in a situation where these women dress nice. They're at all the big events. Certainly Angel Reese was at the All-Star game. That created a stir. Not the All-Star game, excuse me. It's one of those mornings, guys, so just bear with me. She was at the men's summer league that's going on, and she was the talk of the town, man. So again, I'm gonna say it again. This is great what the women are doing. We hope that it keeps up, and we have a bias, and we hope that our hometown Atlanta Dream might be able to get to postseason play. Now, what other sports are going on? Well, we got a little Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is back. They had their All-Star game, and it was. I got to tell you, I don't know about you guys, but I guess, am I getting old? I don't know, because I got to tell you, these All-Star game uniforms, I don't know if you guys took a look at those, but man, they were like, what on earth? What were we watching? The guys had some kind of like gray and pink thing going on. It was just really, really very, very strange. I mean, I was like, man, what am I watching here? But nevertheless, did not disappoint. The All-Stars, some of the guys that people wanted to see, that top pitcher from Pittsburgh, Shohei Ohtani, all the people that that you wanted to see were there. So again, big kudos and big shout out to the Major League Baseball. But like I said, again, they are now back in the regular season. And let's take a look here and see what we had last night as far as our scores. Going around the league, keeping you up to breast of what's going on. Let's hit the Major League scoreboard right now. Well, we'll go to the National League first because our Atlanta Braves playing in the National League. And let's get the lineup here. The Arizona Diamondbacks, who a lot of people forget, went to the World Series last year. They beat the Cubs 5-2 last night. The Philadelphia Phillies, a team who the Braves are frantically chasing right now in the NL East, they go down to the Pirates 8-7. The Washington Nationals knock off the Reds 8-5. The going across the pond, excuse me, not across the pond. The New York Metropolitans go down to the Marlins 6-4. And wrapping up here in the NL East, the Braves were looking to host the Cardinals last night, but because of the rain, the game was postponed. So that's our wrap up in the NL East. The Braves pick up a half a game on the Phillies. And here's the thing. Everybody is kind of here in Atlanta, kind of feeling some kind of way. They're thinking the Braves may not be able to compete for an NL East crown. They may not be good enough to play in the World Series. But this is what I'm telling you about. People forget that the year that the Braves won the World Series, they were 10.5 games back in August. And the Mets fans that basically wrote them off as being dead in the water. So what am I trying to say? Well, let's take a look at last year. Last year, the situation where you had the Braves being a dominant team in the National League. They won 108 games, and they just quit the bed once they got into postseason play. They won one game, and their nemesis, the Phillies, knocked them off. They didn't even get to the NLCS. They didn't even get to the World Series. So what are you saying about that, Preacher? What I'm telling you is that I don't care what the Braves are doing right now. I just want them to stay competitive, kind of stay in the mix, and be able to get into postseason, because that's all it's about. It's a big dance. And oh, by the way, the Braves, who were down by 10 games, are now only down by 8 games. So they are making some headway here. All right, guys, what we're going to do, we'll take a quick break, and then I'm going to have a special guest pop on to tell you some breaking news about what's going on here on the South Side of high school football. You listen to the Real Talk Sports Show, and we'll be back with more of the show in just a moment. We always tell you, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Sports fans, tune in for live high school football Fridays, 7:30 p.m. on RealTalkSports.net. Check out your favorite Metro Atlanta teams as they do battle on the gridiron. It's your high school game of the week, live streaming free Friday nights on RealTalkSports.net. For more sports coverage and great sports talk, catch the Real Talk Sports Show Tuesdays, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. Brought to you by Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, a business giving back to their community. Give them a call at 678-364-3979 or check them out online at AllenVigilFord.net. All right, guys, we're back here, and I'm going to let this gentleman pop in here now. Now, here's the thing, guys. We're both at work, but fortunately, Allen Vigil is our premier sponsor for high school football. Now, I'm going to let Corey just introduce himself because he's got some news. Corey, I heard that your son is like a 5-star prospect right down the road here in Henry County. Just introduce yourself and introduce everybody to your son.
Yes. Hello. My name is Corey Way, and hopefully everyone's doing well. Yeah. So my son, Caden Way, he's a freshman running back. So he's entering his sophomore year, and he's an awesome kid. I'm sure every dad would say that, but this kid is special. I got 3 boys, 2 are in college. So as you know, that youngest, they just pick up everything so fast. So I remember, we would take him to the games to watch his 2 older brothers, and he would just zoom in and lock in and just watch them. So when it was his time to play, he was a natural. He was just doing things at 6, 7 years old you just normally don't see. But
see, guys, you can see it's a proud papa here. He's very, very excited. So I'm gonna do this so we don't both get in trouble. I'm gonna have him quickly tell you where Corey is matriculating at school right now, and how you guys can find out more about their program. Gonna tell us where he's at now.
Yeah, so he's right now. He's at Ola High School right down here in Henry County. The kid is super smart, 4.3 GPA, ranked high in his class. And he's a stud. I mean, he had the bulk of the offense last year. Him and actually another freshman running back. So you got 2 freshman running backs that led the offense, last season, and they both put up big numbers as far as touchdowns and rushing yards. And so they're coming back this year once again, and they got the whole community excited. You got two awesome running backs, one like I said, including my son. They just freaks. Freaks of nature. They're gonna. My son, he's going to play both sides of the ball, running back and safety, and I'm just excited. I'm excited. So it's definitely need to watch these kids, Caden Way and other running back Nigel Newkirk.
All right, guys, that's it. Ola High School, stay tuned. We're going to have Corey actually going to be part of our high school football coverage. He's going to bring you guys updates from Ola and all the things that are going on in Henry County football. Corey, thank you for joining us. And also, we want to give both of us want to give a big shout out to our employer, Allen Vigil Ford, who is an NIL sponsor for Corey's son and also is our title sponsor for high school football. All right, Corey, I'm going to let you get back to work, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm going this way.
All right, guys, wanted to kind of keep you up to date. Always great stuff going on here in the county and on the south side. So I want to encourage you guys, if you have an opportunity, come on out, check Ola High School or right down the road in Henry County. Great things happening there. Check us out in Clayton County here. Come to Tara Stadium or the brand new stadium that is actually housed on the campus of Morrow High School. It's called the Steel Road Field. And I'm going to tell you guys, this thing is unbelievable. It's part of a multi-million-dollar facility that Clayton County has built. So those of you who listen to this show over the air, who live in Clayton County, you guys need to be proud of your new superintendent, Smith. He is committed to invest millions of dollars, and we're already seeing it come to fruition right now with the new Morrow High School on Steel Road. They also have just finished the renovation here at Jonesboro High School, and y'all know about Jonesboro. The Mighty Marching Cardinals are one of the best high school bands in the land. If you remember, they were part of the Usher Super Bowl commercial, and we'll also see them on the Thanksgiving Day parade this year. So great things are going on in Clayton County and in Clayton County sports. So again, guys, keep it locked right here on WIGO 1570. We're going to give you some great coverage, and you already know you got to follow us anywhere on social media. Real Talk Sports, the number 7. That's how you can follow our show. That's how you can find out what we're doing. We're always in and about in the community. So again, check us out. Real Talk Sports, the number 7. And good news, guys. We're going to be bringing you some Falcons coverage. Now, I know a lot of people have been like, we want to talk about football. I've been talking WNBA. I've been talking Major League Baseball. I've been talking high school. But we are looking forward to covering the Falcons again this year. We hope to bring you some stuff from the camp. Now, I will tell you, this year, the camp situation for individuals to view it is a little bit different. They do not have the facility open at the camp. You guys know who follow it. Every year they have the summer camp. Sponsored by AT&T. You guys come out there. You can bring your kids. It's free. They have great food. But they can't do it this year because the Falcons headquarters is going under a massive renovation. You know, the field, the actual headquarter buildings, the training center. So for safety reasons, they can't bring you out there. But what they are going to do is they are going to have an open practice up in Buford. It's one of the high schools up there. And of course, as they always do, an open practice at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So you will be able to go and check it out. When you go to Mercedes-Benz, it will be a $5 charge, but that money is given to charity. And here's the cool thing. All the food is like really, really cheap. For those guys that go every year, you know, I think the hamburgers were like $1. Yeah, that's right. The same burgers that you pay like $12 when you go to Mercedes-Benz is $1. So again, come on out. It's a chance to bring your kids out to see the players. The players are great. They sign autographs, and you'll be able to see if, in fact, what we heard about the Falcons is really true. Are they a team that is playoff bound? Are they a team that can be a team that wins the NFC South? As a matter of fact, guys, I think I have a clip from my last coverage when I was up there at the OTAs, and let's see if we can get a little bit of clip from one of the coaches talking about the potential of this team. So I have to get my producer to assist me and see if we can pull this up for you guys. Here we go. And I think this is offense coordinator Zach Robinson.
Trying to get this year going underway. No, learning a lot. Raheem has been such a great resource. Being able to, him and I's relationship going back the past, 3 years has really helped. I'm bouncing stuff off him constantly, and we've had great communication across the board. And the rest of the coaching staff has been great. Those guys are helping me out a ton, and just as a first time doing it, and the collaboration we've all had. Throughout the last 3 months, it feels like we've been here for over 2 years now. We've spent a lot of time talking through things, and it'll continue to grow. But definitely learning a lot, and there's things that you look back 3 months ago that maybe you thought was going to be really important, that now you look back, it's not as important, or something vice versa that you're like, oh man, I need to spend a little bit more time on this. So you're constantly learning, constantly evolving, but it's been a great transition, but we're around a lot of great guys, a lot of great players. It makes it a lot more fun.
Coach Jonathan from Real Talk Sports. Nice to meet you finally.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, man. So you just mentioned something there about having good guys. How important is that? Because it seems like that's really the theme of even the guys you drafted. The whole idea about character, guys that are good communicators, and guys that are good guys. What does that mean for you, coaching over a group like this?
Oh, it's the best. That's what you want. You want guys that love football as much as we do as coaches, and that's exactly what we have here with every single player, which has been cool to see. Obviously, it's been built over time, but from an outsider coming in, and you hear about the Chris Lindstroms and you hear about the Drake Londons and the Bijans and those guys, but until you're actually there and you see just the intent that they have every single day, the way that they approach the game, how humble they are, all they care about is winning, and all they care about is each other. That's what it's all about, and that's what football. That's what you love about it. So it's been really cool to see just the culture. From the guys, because it's going to always start with the players, and obviously Raheem, his leadership throughout the past few months just escalates that. So it's awesome to have these guys that just love ball and they just want to get better.
It talks a little about that Raheem style. Is kind of almost Tony Dungy's, kind of a low-key, almost like a nice guy approach. And what does it mean for you to be part of a staff that's in that same vibe?
No, it's great. That's the best way to coach people, is in a positive and uplifting environment. Of course, we're going to be demanding on these guys, and we're going to have expectations, and they're going to understand, hey, this is what we're expecting from you. And that will be consistent, but you can do it in a positive way. Hey, I've seen this from you. This is why we're going to, do it this way. And so, his leadership. I've been around Raheem for the last 3 years. He's never had a bad day. I mean, you guys have gotten to know him. That's real and authentic. And at the end of the day, these guys that's what they're looking for. You just be authentically yourself, show them that you care, but lead in an uplifting and positive way.
Well, there it was, guys. That was our offense coordinator, Zach Robinson. And I got to tell you, that's kind of what the buzz is around the league, that this Falcons offense is going to be a dominant offense. Now, keep in mind, we've seen a little bit of this before. We saw what the Kyle Shanahan offensive system can do. We saw it in Matt Ryan's second year. It was must-see TV. The Falcons were ranked number 7 overall in NFL history. That's right. The Falcons team that played in 2016, went to Super Bowl, is the 7th best offense in NFL history. Now, am I going to sit here and tell you that Zach Robinson is going to come in here and all of a sudden the Falcons are going to be that same vein? Not necessarily, but I will tell you this team is set up very similarly to that team. What I mean by that, so you have an all-pro stud to anchor the offensive line, and back then you had our center, and now you have Chris Lindstrom. He has been a multi-time All-Pro now, and so he's going to anchor just like Alex Mack at the center position anchored the offensive line back in 2016. At the quarterback position, Matt Ryan, that was his first and only MVP season, and it capped off a career that eventually has led him to the Falcons Ring of Honor, potentially down the road into the NFL Hall of Fame. Well, in Kirk Cousins, we have a guy in that same type of vein, a guy that is a very accurate thrower of the football, a gentleman that has just come off a year where he could have been an MVP before he got injured. And so if we can get even, I said 100%, it's kind of hard. You're coming off an Achilles tear, but I think if you can even get 90% of what Kirk Cousins has been over his career, you're going to have stellar quarterback play. And those of you who follow the Falcons know that was one of the main hiccups last year, is they just were not good at the quarterback position at all. Even though it's a guy I thought was going to do very well in Desmond Ridder, he never seemed to catch the grasp of Arthur Smith's offense, and the team just did not do well under his leadership. But I think with Kirk Cousins, you got a guy who's an NFL veteran, and you got weapons all around. First of all, the running back room is stout. Tyler Algiers and Bijan Robinson, and the Falcons also drafted a young man from out of Alabama. I can't call his name right now, in the 6th round to shore it up as well. But that combination of Tyler Algiers and Bijan Robinson is going to be one of the best running back rooms in the NFL, especially if the Falcons find a way to get both of those guys the right amount of touches. Now, I know Bijan Robinson has come out and talked about he wants to, have 2,000 yards rushing. And I know everybody has just sung his praises as being this versatile back in the vein of Christian McCaffrey, which is cool. But Tyler Algiers is a bull. And keep in mind, before Bijan Robinson arrived in his second year, Tyler Algiers had rushed for 1,000 yards in his initial campaign as a Falcon, and he had over 4 yards a carry. As a matter of fact, I think it's around 4.5 yards a carry. And even last year with Bijan coming to the forefront, still those tough yards, those yards you need in between the tackles, Tyler Algiers was your man. So again, you got Tyler Algiers, the bull. You have Bijan Robinson, the lightning, the shifty, the just a guy of 1,000 moves. And then let's take a look at the wide receiver room. You have you have a situation where the Falcons have loaded up at wide receiver to try to get Kirk Cousins all the weapons he needs there. And at the tight end position, you have a guy who's a hybrid, a man who's coming off injuries, but I think should be back at 100% in Kyle Pitts. You got Drake London at the wide receiver position. You have Mooney at the wide receiver position. All these guys should be able to make it must-see TV for the Falcons offense. Well, speaking of must-see TV, we have to let you guys go. We thank you so much for joining us here. Those of you who've been watching us here on Facebook, on YouTube, maybe some of you watching on X, used to be Twitter, appreciate you. And we also appreciate those of you who are listening in your cars or online at WIGO1570.com, or like I said, in your cars at the legendary Pacesetter 1570 AM. Big shout out to the man behind the glass. He's actually our program director, Kevin Buchanan, pinch hitting today. Appreciate him for all he does. And I want you guys to keep it locked for those of you listening on the radio on WIGO 1570 for more great programming throughout the rest of the day. Well, a lot of people who listen to this program or watch it, they go, hey, man, ain't you a preacher? Yes, I am, a real one. Didn't get my license off the cereal box either. So before I leave this program, I always like to encourage people, especially with all the stuff you see going on today, you got to figure, man, things are getting kind of dicey out there. So here's what I want to encourage you to do. If you do not have a relationship with God, and how do you do that? If you don't know his son, Mighty Yahashua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, I'm going to ask you, matter of fact, I'm going to implore you, please, man, please, sir, get to know him today. Jesus is the one that loves you more than your bae, your boo, more your BFF, more than your ride and die partner. He's the one that came here, died for you, but he rose from the dead. So if you repent of your sins and believe in him, 2 great things happen. Number 1, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number 2, you become an adopted child of God with all the rights therein. That means you can now go to God like a heavenly parent, ask him for anything that you need or desire, and according to his will, he'll give it to you. And when you die, you go to that spectacular, beautiful, wonderful place called heaven, where there's none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, no bad people, anywhere at all. And it's the most beautiful place ever created. And really the cool thing is you now get to see God and Jesus Christ and all the people of love face to face. And you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the things I just mentioned, they're not there. So hell is a place of darkness, gloom, fiery, pain, and you're locked up with the devil on all the demonic hosts and the worst people to ever walk on this planet. I don't know about you, but like option number 1 instead of option number 2. All right, guys, so we're getting ready to get out of here. Again, keep it locked to WIGO Pacesetter 1570, and please follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. You know how we do it, guys. As we sign off, we just want to say to you, God bless you and have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, whichever may apply. So long and take care.